Right then, this is a walk around video for a very clean Honda CR-V. This is a new shape or newer shaped CR-V EX diesel 2.2, obviously 4-wheel drive. This car's coming as a part exchange to us. It's covered and not unsubstantial. Insubstantial, 144,000 miles. So it's not the car we normally sell, but I have to say it's been kept absolutely beautifully. Lights, lenses, front end, very clean. It's just starting to spit with rain, so I do apologise, but the bonnet for a car of its miles is in remarkable condition. Likewise, near side of the car, really smooth in the panels. Near side front alloy, can't see any marks on there that's worth noting. Panel work is simply incredible for the age and mileage of the car. Rear wheel, really good, just a little bit of light curbing on the outside. Wait for that sporty car to go past. Bumper corners generally good. There's a couple of little light marks down there, but nothing much at all. Tailgate very clean indeed. Apologies, it's just getting windy as well. I think it's whipping up to a shower, so hope you can hear me. Offside, again, incredibly clean for the age of the car and the miles it's done. Offside rear wheel in beautiful condition, and then remaining panel work is exceptional. And then final wheel again in lovely condition. I mean, that is in condition that you'd expect to see a 5 or 6 year old car with half the mileage, in all honesty. Coming to the back, huge boots, and again, I mean, it's every CR-V came in as nice as that in the back, I'd be very happy indeed, because that's hardly been used at all. Coming into the back, wide opening rear doors, and in the back you've got enormous amounts of leg room, and the leatherwork again for the mileage, it's incredible. Coming to the front and the passenger side, again, continued theme, incredibly clean. Finally, coming to the driver's side, it just continues. It's absolutely amazing. Footwell area is really clean, and then the driver's seat, the one that takes all of the wear, and crikey me, I mean, that is incredible. So finally inside the car. Engine's running through this section, so the dash, as always, can be seen illuminated. Dashboard looks pretty much as new. Again, just a sign of Honda's build quality. Sat nav working as it should. Pop the car into reverse. That lovely clear gridded parking camera, again, all working exactly as intended. And to come up to the dash binnacle, hopefully you can see 144,292 miles. No warning lights aside from just the fuel light currently on. Obviously fuel put in will soon extinguish that, but it is simply amazing in here. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key, both here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V 2.2 EX diesel. Car's registered SH62DFN, and mileage is 144,286. The reason we do all of these road test videos in particular is to ensure that if anyone online is looking at our adverts, they actually get to see the car advertised in operation. And the reason we feel it's important is the fact that we know, to our cost unfortunately, just how frustrating it can be to go and see a car which can look perfectly good in an advert, but when you get to drive the car, it's got an obvious issue which you'd much rather known about before setting off. We also do the road tests on these very quiet country roads in this lovely part of Gloucestershire. This actually forms part of the road test route we take customers on. And the reason for that is hopefully then it will be representative of what you feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the car itself, coming as a part exchange to us, because we obviously don't normally buy them with this kind of mileage. Not that we've got any fears about them at this kind of mileage, but it just doesn't fit with what we normally do. However, this is one of two part exchanges that the couple gave to us. They bought 2 CR-Vs within a couple of days, so they love their cars. 2 CR-Vs part exchange, 2 CR-Vs bought. It tells its own story really. It's amazing. absolutely amazing. All the things I say about durability and longevity is borne out in this car, in all honesty. The engine starts instantly from cold, push button start, settles to an absolutely smooth, even idle, no strange noises. It sounds exactly like it would have done when it was new. It's just amazing. And on the move, still the same. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all. There will be in a second, because it's going to, the low fuel is going to suddenly ping on. I know it is, because it's getting quite low. Temperature gauge at the moment is at the bottom, because I like to try and do the videos from cold where I can, so you can see the differences between hot and cold. There's a fuel light, perfect timing. The engines are sensational units. They're smooth and quiet. It's one of the very best diesel engines ever made, in my opinion, just because it's not only is it what we've always claimed to be a long-lasting, durable, tough, reliable engine, which they are, but it's just a joyous engine to use day in, day out, because it's got such a flexibility to it. It's so smooth throughout the entirety of its rev range, and it has a rev range. And what I mean by that is, so many diesel cars you get in and you think, oh, that goes well, and then you buy it, then you suddenly realise actually it's only got probably about 1,500 worth of revs that you can actually realistically use. And the first bit feels great because it gives you thrust, but then it just dies away very, very quickly. The CR-Vs are completely opposite to that. You put your foot down now, it just keeps pulling and pulling hard and smoothly. Brilliant engine. They are timing chain driven, by the way, so no timing belts on these to worry about that need changing. Engine then feeds through into clutch and gearbox. Clutch absolutely perfect, smooth in operation, bike pointed exactly where it's meant to be. Gearbox, just fantastic, always has been in the CR-Vs. It's the opposite of so many SUV gearboxes in the sense that it's quite sporty in its feel. It's short and throw, it's snappy, it's precise. It's got a lovely quality of engagement to it, which not all cars have, because most transverse engined cars are cables from the gear lever to the gearbox underneath, and that means you can get some sort of lifeless sort of gear changes, which can be quite vague. This is the opposite of that, and the gear changes are just fantastic, and that feels again absolutely as tight as a drum. Even in gear there's no movement. It's the quality of this kind of stuff that Honda do so well, so perfect in that sense. Steering in the car, beautifully weighted, makes the car feel lovely and secure on the road. It feels as tight as a drum, the car does on the road. It tracks absolutely bullet straight. There's no vibrations at all at this speed or any speed up to the legal limit. To complement that, obviously you got the chassis, which, you know, given the fact that the CR-V is the best-selling SUV in the world, it comes as no surprise to find that it strikes a lovely balance between actually, wait here a second. Lovely balance between ride comfort and also sort of body control through the corners. And I don't normally refer to it as handling, because I think that's a nonsense, really. Handling normally sort of determines whether the car understeers, oversteers, what the balance is like through the corners. That applies to very sporty cars. If people are going to the extremities with these cars, then it's probably not the right car for you. It's a family car, so it's just that isn't what you're going to use it for. It just drives beautifully, because what it does, like the roads now, it's just very, very compliant ride, very comfortable. Feels absolutely fantastic. But when you go through the corners at speed, what you don't get compared to, again, loads of SUVs is lots of pitching and wallowing and lots of body roll angle, which can be particularly unsettling for rear seat passengers who may not be concentrating on the road ahead. So when you go through a corner like this, it's a little bit quicker than normal, turn in, completely unflustered. It's brilliant. What I'm also looking for on road test is from this bump, just about to go over now, that one. It's a horrible bump. And listening out for any noises coming from the suspension that shouldn't be there, that's perfect. There's no chattering, there's no knocking noises, there's no rattling at all absolutely as it should be. Ordinarily in the road test, I'd now thump the brakes very hard to show you the brakes working. I'm not going to now because it's literally just had brand new brake discs and pads fitted to the car, so I'm not going to obviously bed them in as you went to for the first few hundred miles, but they are obviously very, very good indeed, as you'd expect. So coming inside the car, first things first, and again it was kind of slightly repeated theme. Quite often in videos for our normal CR-Vs, I guess the sort of 20 to 80,000 mile ones that we generally sell, I go on about the build quality of the interiors, and again this is a case in point. It is beautifully put together. The interior exhibits absolutely no rattles, no squeaks, nothing. It's silent in terms of any kind of creaking or groaning or anything else. And that's, when you read motoring press reports, they always say that the same candidates are, the build quality of certain manufacturers are the ones they sort of give top marks for. They always say that Hondas are nicely put together, sometimes with slightly hard plastics, but they kind of underplay just how durable these interiors are. And this is incredible. We've not cleaned it yet, and it hardly needs a clean, but it's, you couldn't separate it from one that had done 20, 30,000 miles. It's in such lovely condition in here. All working perfectly. Sat nav, as you can see, you've got dual zone climate control, which blows out absolutely ice cold air. Heated seats, working perfectly. Dash in front, or the binnacle, is simplicity itself. Simple, easy dials to take information in, which Honda present to you very, very nicely indeed. A steering wheel, which is nice and small in diameter, leather bound, and feels absolutely perfect in hand. And again, all the functions working exactly as they should. This is a four-wheel drive version of the CR-V, albeit there are no buttons to press because it does it all for you, basically. It just automatically brings it in as and when required. It's just genius in the way it operates, in all honesty, and all working exactly as it should. As I said at the start, the point of it, as brief as it may well be, is just to show the car in operation. This is a prime example of why I love Honda cars and why we love to sell them, because it just feels so fresh and tight on the road. If you've got any questions at all, don't hesitate, do give us a call.